All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Negro Shotty, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a review of the Boruto anime movie, Naruto, Naruto the movie. I don't know why they named it that, but whatever. So I know some of you guys are wondering, why am I doing a review for this movie? This movie's kind of old, but technically, I think technically, kind of it came out last year, or whatever. But I know we just got the English dub. I believe we got the English dub last year for this movie, and of course, with the Boruto anime series, just started this week. And I wanted to do a review for this movie a few weeks ago, but I just never got the time to do it. And so I did my Boruto review for episode one, and so go and check that out for my thoughts on the first episode of Boruto, the animated series. But for this, we're going to be talking Boruto the movie. Now, with Boruto Next Generations, I kind of gave you guys my a little bit of my thoughts on the first episode and kind of what I thought, going into the Boruto. I guess you could say the Boruto thing as a whole. Going into this movie with some of the prior knowledge that I now have. Uh, and I decided to go ahead and just watch the movie twice, just about. And I gotta say, this is a solid. This is probably one of the best Naruto movies we have gotten in a long time. Uh, I I wasn't one of those people that really enjoyed the last. I thought the last was just okay. Uh, this this movie, there's not a lot that I can say that was like really wrong with this, or that I can really say. I guess there's not a lot that I could say that was like objectively like wrong with it. Like you can't really deny that there are. Obviously, this movie isn't flawless, but there were some things that I did not like about it. I kind of want to get into the negatives first. I kind of want to get into uh, the bad aspects of the movie in my opinion first, and then kind of get into what I thought was good about the movie, mainly because there's a lot more good about this movie in my opinion than there is bad. um so just basic summary of this movie: it's basically all about Boruto. It's about Naruto's son, and it's about Boruto and his conflict with his father Naruto, and how Naruto, like, he feels neglected. And that's something that I like about this character. And there might be some people that don't like the Boruto character, right off the bat, simply because he kind of has this teenage he has this teenage angst about him. Like, he's one of those he's one of those kids that kind of just is like really rebellious toward his parents and toward Naruto especially. But it's actually warranted here. It's actually they give you they Kishimoto is pretty much giving us a justification for why he feels a certain way about Naruto. I mean, it's all justified. He feels like Naruto doesn't give him and his sister enough attention because he's Hokage. Because he's Hokage, Naruto's always busy, and so Boruto just feels kind of neglected. And then at the same time, especially in this movie, we get to see that Boruto, in some small way, even if he doesn't want to admit it, he just wants to, like, he still wants his father's approval. Even though he claims to, like, I guess, almost hate, like he almost claims to almost hate his father. And he almost claims to, like, he doesn't care what his father is, like what his father thinks about him or whatever. But in actuality, he wants his father's approval. He wants Naruto's approval at the end of the day. And that is something that I liked about this movie going in, is that he is not, Like he is not a Naruto clone. That is something that I liked going in, is that Boruto's not a Naruto clone, and that was one of my fears. As I said in my review of the first episode of Boruto: The Next Generations, was my fear going into the Boruto series as a whole is just that, like, is this going to be a rehash of Naruto Part One? Is this going to be like, is this Boruto character going to just be a clone of Naruto? And thankfully, judging by this movie and judging by really the first episode of the anime, that doesn't seem to be the take. It doesn't seem to be the take that Kishimoto's kind of uh, giving off with this character. Like it doesn't seem like that's the route. It doesn't seem like that's the route this character is going to take. Like it doesn't seem like this character is going to try to walk in the footsteps, of Naruto. But like I'm kind of praising the film right now, but like I said, I kind of want to talk about the negatives first. So getting into some of the negatives, uh, one of the things I did not like about this. One of the things I did not like about this movie, especially the first opening scene. So the first opening scene of this movie, and I guess I'll try to kind of I will try not to get too far into spoilers or anything like that. Even though I know a lot of people have probably already seen this movie, but there might be some people like me who basically waited for the English dub of this movie to surface on the internet or come out or whatever. And so there might be some people who haven't seen this movie. So I kind of want to avoid spoilers, so I'll try to kind of gloss over a few things. I will try to speak broadly if I can, or in a general sense of when it comes to certain stuff. I'll try not to spoil anything. But the first opening scene of this movie, we see Sasuke fight against uh God dang it, I'm drawing the blank on the dude's name. Kenshiki. We get to see Sasuke fight against Kenshiki. And one of the things that I really hated about Naruto Shippuden, and one of the things that I think a lot of people would say is like a big criticism of Naruto Shippuden, is that it just turned into Dragon Ball Z. Like if you compare Naruto Part One to Naruto Shippuden, and it's basically Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. Like it's all this crap happening. It's like no, like it's like they abandoned all of the the hand signs and all that crap. They abandoned the hand signs and stuff, and it's really just it's two ninjas just shooting jutsu out of their hands and doing all this crazy stuff. Like a lot of it, a lot of like that first scene, it was just kind of like fast paced and uh basically crap happening, very bombastic. And honestly, when I was a kid and I saw Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and I'm seeing all uh these fast paced fights and explosions happening and all that stuff, like I said, very bombastic. I was I was very giddy. I loved it as a child, but getting older and my taste in anime and everything kind of maturing, and really just I've become, I guess the best way to put it is like I've become so numb to that sort of action. And when it comes to Naruto, and something that I liked about Part One, like some of the best fight scenes and some of the most memorable fights are actually when they're going, fisticuffs, when it's actually hand to hand combat. And if they're using jutsu, it's like basically they're using hand signs, and like it's a smaller scale. Like I think Naruto works best, especially the fights work best when they're on a smaller scale. And this movie opens up with Sasuke fighting Kenshiki, and it's just basically a fast paced higher scale fight, you know, almost two gods going at it, almost two gods. And I honestly, I was honestly kind of skeptical, just going into this. After that first scene, I was a little nervous after that first scene, simply because it opens up with Sasuke fighting this dude, and after that first scene, we get a little narration. We get a little narration from Boruto, and it basically switches to Boruto's perspective. And one of the negative, like I said, one of the things I did not like about this, I guess one of the things I didn't like about this is basically I felt like the scale was too high, and it was kind of unnecessary. Like the scale of some of these fights, and really the two villains, I almost feel like they like I almost feel like Ken Shiki and Momoshiki. I almost feel like they almost belong in another movie, and they almost feel like their whole plot line and their whole goal and everything. Like I feel like these two characters, like I almost feel as though it feels like there's two different movies going on, almost. Like I see why Momoshiki is there. I see what Kishimoto did. I see what he did with Momoshiki in this movie, because he's this character that basically, not to spoil the plot, but he's going after the tail beast, the remaining Jinchuriki that have the tail beast, because they're after the tail beast chakra, so they can make these pills, and these pills give them basically immortality and power. And basically, Momoshiki is able to absorb ninjutsu, and he's able to basically use other people's ninjutsu. And he has this line. He has this line, like I want to say three-fourths through the film, like halfway through the film. He says something like, basically, you human beings have to train and have to persevere in order to uh, in order to learn jutsu and stuff like that. But all I have to do is absorb it. All I have to do is absorb it with my hand and take these pills, and I can gain power. And this character is basically a parallel to Boruto, to something he does in the movie, where Boruto is cheating during the Chunin exams, using this ninja tool. And like I said, I get why Momoshiki is like I get how Momoshiki is used, but I almost could have done without these two characters. And I almost felt like another new character that this movie introduces, uh, Katatsuke, the guy that is basically like the ninja. I forgot what his position. I forgot the exact name of his position in the village. I believe it was, he's a scientific ninja tool specialist, or something like that. I forgot his actual title, but basically he was part of the, I guess you can say, research and development, like R&D, ninja tool specialist type of dude. But he basically came up with this ninja tool. He came up with this ninja tool where, you could basically use anybody's jutsu, and that's another thing that I did not like. Like as soon as I saw this ninja tool, in which, like, the first time that we get to see this ninja tool in a movie, Konohamaru is using this ninja tool, and Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. I hope I pronounced the last dude's name correctly, because y'all know how I do by now. If y'all have seen any of my videos, I butcher anime names. So apologies, if I butchered that dude's name. But in the first scene that we see this ninja tool used, they're on a mission, and they're like, part of the objective for the mission was to test out that ninja tool, which was created by Katsuki. And uh, the Katsuki dude, he almost I almost would have preferred him to actually be a villain. He kind of is a villain a little bit because he does kind of manipulate Boruto in a sense, but he's not the major villain. Like the major villains are Momoshiki and Kinshiki. And I think that this movie really works when the scale of the battles and the scale of like really just when the scale is just smaller, when it's a smaller scale. And I think this movie could have been even better if it was just a smaller scale film versus a film where the villain is just, you know, on that god level. Because I've said this before on this channel, especially when I like a week ago or whatever, I put up a video on the Boruto movie, but I ended up taking it off this channel because I said something in that video in which I didn't know beforehand that it was inaccurate. So I just took the video down. But basically what I was saying in the video was um Naruto and Sasuke are gods at this point. They're technically gods. And honestly, who's gonna go up against them? And in the anime that is starting now, we're gonna see that there's gonna be a ninja what there's gonna be somebody that is strong enough to go up against Sasuke and Naruto, apparently. But in this movie, I feel like since this movie was going to center around the next generation and Boruto, Sarada, and everybody else, Shikadai, the new generation. I felt like I felt like Kishimoto should have put a villain up there that Boruto can take down himself without the assistance of Naruto and without the assistance of Sasuke, because even though like most of this movie does focus on uh Boruto and the other and like his other classmates and everything, Naruto and Sasuke, they definitely get their time in this movie. Like the majority of the time when it comes to like the fight scenes. Like it literally becomes the Naruto Sasuke show once again in this movie at a certain point, especially when Naruto and Sasuke they have to fight against Momoshiki. And honestly, I just would have preferred if Momoshiki and Kinshiki weren't in this movie, and they and Katsuki was just the main villain. And if they would have just kind of just scaled it down, I just feel like this movie would have been better if it was scaled down a little bit. Because what we got in this movie outside of the two villains, Momoshiki and Kenshiki, in which they had something to do with Kaguya. They basically wanted to create chakra fruit, just like Kaguya. It seemed like they just wanted to finish what Kaguya started when she was amassing this group of Setsu in Naruto Shippuden. But I kind of feel like that, like they should have. I kind of felt like Kishimoto could have not used that. Like I kind of felt like that wasn't really needed. Like he did not need those two characters, and the scale really didn't need to be that big for this movie, in my opinion. Uh, like I said before, the Ninja Tool thing, that is another weak aspect of this movie, simply because in my opinion, I get how it works into the movie. I get how it works into the movie exactly, but the only thing I didn't like about it, because it kind of reminded me of capsules from Dragon Ball Z. It kind of reminded me of the little capsules, and it almost breaks the lore a little bit. It breaks the lore a little bit because in Naruto Shippuden, we basically get introduced to chakra natures, and throughout Naruto and then Naruto Shippuden, we basically learn that there are certain jutsu that only certain ninja can do. There's certain jutsu that only this ninja can do because he has this particular chakra nature, or he has these particular Keke Genkai bloodline, like bloodline traits, like certain ninja have these Keke Genkai traits, and like this movie kind of does away with it in a sense because of those ninja tools that allow people to use just about anybody's ninjutsu, which I think is a very dangerous, which I would think is kind of very dangerous because uh, there was this one point where this particular ninja tool that was created by Katsuki, it's used to basically they Konohamaru, he uses Shikamaru's like the Nara clan's shadow possession, and that's I would think that something like that, like the Hokage being Naruto, like he wouldn't want that to slip out because there are certain techniques, there are like certain techniques that are like beneficial for, I guess, the Leaf Village, and I don't know. It like, to me, I felt like the Ninja Tool thing. It kind of just breaks. It just breaks the lore. It breaks everything that was established uh, in Naruto Shippuden and in Naruto almost. I felt like that Ninja Tool thing was a weak aspect of the film, but at the same time, it's used it's used in a good way for Boruto, excuse me. It's used in a good way for Boruto to learn his lesson. Honestly, Boruto learns a lesson from uh, like I said earlier, Momoshiki, and the fact that Momoshiki wasn't using his own power, he was using other people's power to basically, get stronger, and also he was using other people's power to fight. And like I said earlier, it is definitely one of those things where Momoshiki is used as a parallel to Boruto in a sense. But getting to the positives, because I think I've talked about pretty much all the things that I didn't like about this. And one of the things that I also didn't like was just the fact that when are we ever going to get to see the tuning exams actually play out? Because so far it seems like every time we get to see the tuning exams, and we get to round three, where it's like everybody's watching in that arena. As soon as we get to round three of the tuning exams, something has to happen to interrupt the tuning exams. Like, I don't think we have ever seen the tuning exams go off without any issues in the Naruto series. Even in the filler, I believe, because I believe there was this filler. There was this filler arc. There was a filler arc in Naruto Shippuden where I think it was showing Neji and everybody else becoming tuning. Uh, but before Naruto ended up become before Naruto came back in Naruto Shippuden, before like the series started, and honestly, even in that filler arc, from what I remember, the tuning exams was also interrupted there. So even in this movie, the tuning exams gets interrupted. And in Naruto Part One, obviously the tuning exams got interrupted uh, during the third phase of the tuning exams. And uh, like, the tuning exams is really the strong point of this movie. All the fights in the tuning exam of Boruto fighting against the Cloud Ninja that had like the explosive bubble gum. And that's another thing that I liked about this movie, the different jutsus that we got to see, the different techniques and everything. I love to see that. Like I said, the fighting scenes between Boruto and some of the people that he had to go up against during the tuning exams. but something that I did not like that they did was they kind of glossed through the fights. Like we didn't actually get to see every single fight of the tuning exams. In which case, I'm pretty sure when the Boruto anime gets to the tuning exams, hopefully it doesn't gloss over the fights like it does in this movie. Because I recognize that this movie could only be so long. But that's why I said earlier. I just think like if they were to had taken out Momoshiki and Kinshiki, taken out that whole Kaguya related plan and everything. Take out all that bull crap. Take out all that high scale unnecessary bullcrap because this movie almost feels like it has a Suicide Squad problem. And for those of you guys who have seen Suicide Squad, you know that basically the Suicide Squad they went up against the supernatural powerful witch, and it's like you took these ground level, these low level characters, and you put them up against a Justice League level, like a Justice League level villain, and it almost feels like that's what this movie almost did, kind of, because it's like I felt like what I said earlier about wanting a villain that was at Boruto's level that he can take down on his own without assistance. I still stand by that. You know, I still think that that's what they should have done. And I feel like the tuning exams, honestly, just watching the tuning exams unfold as it did in this movie, it was fun to watch. I mean, I love that particular scene where basically Boruto is fighting against the dude. He's going up against three guys, right? And they all use the shadow clone jutsu and everything, and he ends up cheating using the tool, using like this water style jutsu and like this lightning style jutsu, like combining it together to take them out. And like Boruto and his squad during the second round of the tuning exams, they have to protect their flag while also getting the enemy's flag. And I just think that's more fun to watch that smaller scale type stuff, that smaller scale combat, and just these different little activities that they had to do during the tuning exams. I thought that I found that more entertaining than like the latter half of the movie where Naruto and Sasuke are like fighting against Momoshiki, and like even like the beginning of the movie, like I said earlier, with Sasuke fighting against Kinshiki, like I just felt like the tuning exams part of the movie was really the strong point of this movie. And getting into the characters itself, because I think the characterization is good. Boruto, I love the fact Boruto isn't just a Naruto clone. He has a few elements, and this is what I like about also Sarada, Shike, and even Mitsuki. Like those have like they have attributes of their parent. Like Sarada had attributes of Sakura. Like in a few scenes, I kind of felt like watching Sakura again. Like, example, there's this scene where Boruto is training to learn the Rasengan, and Sarada, she's up there in the trees just watching him, and I'm like, why aren't you training? Just why aren't you training? Like that feels like such a Sakura thing to do, just like to watch over somebody, but you should be training too, not just watching Boruto try to master Rasengan, right? There was also the scene during the tuning exams where she like straight up punches a dude into a wall. She punches a dude straight up against a wall, exactly like how Sakura would do. Like she has Sakura's strength, but she also has a bit of a personality like Sakura too, which is strange because a lot of people were like speculating years ago that she is probably not Sakura's biological daughter, but we'll have to see. I don't know if that was debunked. Like I don't know if that theory was debunked, but she certainly acts like Sakura. Like that could be Kanin's daughter, but it certainly seems like Sakura. And Boruto, he is his own character. He is who he is, but he does kind of remind you of Naruto in the fact that he is very, very cocky. He's very cocky. He's even cockier than what Naruto was at his age. And even Sasuke says to Naruto at one point that Sasuke thinks that Boruto kind of reminds him of how Naruto was when they were kids. But I would argue that Boruto is really much different than Naruto in a way because Naruto would have never cheated. Like Boruto cheated during the Chunin exams. Like Naruto wouldn't have ever cheated. Like Naruto would never take any shortcuts. He's actually said that himself, and I believe Naruto Shippuden or Naruto. He said something among the lines of, there are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage, and he would just never cheat like his son did, right? And Shikadai, of course, Shikadai acts exactly like Shikamaru because at one point in the tuning exams when Shikadai goes up against Boruto. Basically he just concedes. He's like, I give up. I give up. Just like what Shikamaru ended up doing during the tuning exams in Naruto Part One. So I like how these characters are. I really just love seeing them interact with one another, and just the way that they really seem to be exactly or just a little bit like their parents. It was kind of fun to watch. I also like the little bit of foreshadowing that I really didn't notice at first. I guess watching this movie at first, I didn't really pay attention too much to it. The fact that Boruto even cheated in the video game that he was playing at the cafe or whatever with Ino and Sai's son and Shikadai. Like he was cheating with that video game also, so that was kind of foreshadowing to what he was going to do in the Chunin exams. And let me make sure I got let me just make sure I got everything that I want to say out of the way. Okay, I covered that. Let's see. Yeah, I think I covered just about everything. Yeah, so it looks like I covered everything. I didn't really mention the animation of the movie. The animation is great, but I guess that's to be expected because this movie came out in theaters. So obviously, if it's a movie that is slated for the theaters, it's most likely going to be uh, the animation is going to be way better than what you would see in like the normal anime. But even the anime that I saw on Wednesday, even the first episode was pretty good in terms of animation and the voice acting. I know a lot of people don't like English dub, and I've even seen some people complain about Boruto's voice in this movie, but I actually like Boruto's voice. It's actually less annoying. Like it's less annoying than what Naruto in Part One when Naruto was younger, a younger kid. Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say this. Naruto as a kid, his voice was kind of annoying, and he was kind of an annoying character, always saying "believe it, believe it, believe it" all the time. Yeah, like believe it, like every 5 seconds, right? It was kind of annoying, but Boruto, like I said, he doesn't come off as annoying, and his voice. I thought the voice acting for Boruto actually just I liked his voice. I really liked all the voices, the voice the English voice actors for all the characters, I actually like it. I actually like the voice acting. Um, Really, there isn't really much else that I can say about this. I thought the movie was. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have everything. So I think I covered everything. So overall, I thought the movie was excellent. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is simply because of the scale of the movie and because of the villains, in which I really don't think the villains were really that fleshed out either. I mean, they gave them a little backstory. They gave them the whole backstory of being basically from the same clan. They were from the same clan as Kaguya, and they were sent there. They were sent there to basically complete what Kaguya was planning years ago. But it's like there's a few I guess you could say plot hole. I guess you could say, well, not necessarily plot holes with that. Like, it's not necessarily plot holes, but it's kind of like they didn't really explain like, I guess you can say they didn't really explain like where did you come from. Like, I don't know, they didn't really flesh them out as much as I would have liked. If they were going to be the main villain, I kind of felt like if you're going to if they were going to be the main villain, I think they could have done a little bit more with that. But like I said, I really don't think that they were necessary. I think that Katsuki could have been the actual main villain of this movie, and it could have been just a smaller. Really, I think this would have I think this would have been better if, like I said earlier, if Momoshiki and Kenshiki weren't in this movie. If they weren't in this movie, and let's say Boruto, he gets disqualified from the training exams, and after that the movie just goes on and we get to see the rest of the training exams, because that's really what I wanted to see, was the rest of the training exams. But then you can have this moment with Naruto and his son, where basically Boruto realizes that he needs to basically achieve, like, he basically needs to get strong on his own. Like, he needs, like if he wants to get his father's approval, and he wants to show his father his strength and get his attention, he needs to do that with his own strength. He needs to do that with his own power, which was basically the whole lesson. It was the whole lesson that Boruto learned in this movie. But the only thing was, he learned it through Momoshiki, through Naruto's interaction with Momoshiki. But I feel like it could have been done a different way. And I will say this also, because this is one thing that I think I didn't touch on. I don't think I touched on, but that whole scene, the scene with Naruto and Boruto, and they're basically talking after Boruto passes the second round of the training exams. That scene right there, that quiet scene between father and son, and really Naruto kind of hesitating to uh, to say congratulations to his son, and also give him sort of a pep talk to show him that, I do care, and I do notice what you're doing, Boruto. Keep it up. That sort of a fatherly lecture and talk. I thought that scene was good, and like I just said a few minutes ago, I think the movie could have been resolved in a way like that. Whereas though, in this movie, like, there has to be this big battle at the end. Like, I don't think this big battle at the end needed to happen. I don't think those main villains, I don't even think they were necessary. But that's just my opinion. So overall, I thought this movie was great. Like I said, 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think about the Boruto movie. I know a lot of you have already seen this movie, but I just wanted to go ahead and do a review for it anyways. So thank you guys for watching. If you sat here and watched all of this and like the video, subscribe, or if you didn't like this video, dislike it. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This has been the Negro Shotty. I'm out of here. Peace.